Tobin Atlas is in his kitchen doing the most. Confetti, a victory dance. He just paid off a debt. But while Tobin is popping imaginary champagne, his 22% credit card is in the corner doing jump rope with his paycheck. Like double dutch, with interest. Because interest is not sentimental. A PR does not clap for you. It invoices you. Welcome back. I'm Biscuits J, and I'm here to tell you the truth your debt guru didn't put on the thumbnail. The small wins debt snowball can feel like progress, while quietly charging you for the vibes. Love that for the bank. Today, we're breaking down why the most popular payoff method in America can cost you thousands in extra interest, even while you feel like you're winning. And yes, Tobin will be acting it out silently like a stressed-out Oscar nominee the whole time. If you want fewer money mistakes and more money muscle, tap like, subscribe, and let's get into it. All right, here's Tobin's situation. It's not cute, but it is common. Tobin has $63,000 in debt across 5 accounts. Credit card number 1, $18,000 at 22% interest. Credit card number 2, $9,000 at 19%. Car loan, $24,000 at 6%. Personal loan, $8,000 at 12%. Medical debt in collections, $4,000 at 0% interest. But it's punching his credit score in the throat every month. For 2 years, Tobin uses the small wins method. Translation: pay off the smallest balance first, no matter how nasty the interest rate is on the bigger stuff. Close an account, feel amazing. Roll that payment into the next smallest debt. Repeat until you're debt-free. It's basically a sticker chart for grown-ups, except the stickers are expensive. So Tobin starts with the medical collections debt, $4,000, 0%. It takes him 8 months. Then he attacks the personal loan, $8,000 at 12%. 14 months at roughly $570 a month. Interest paid, about $700. Next, he takes on the $9,000 credit card at 19%. 16 months at roughly $565 a month. Interest, about $1,400. Third account closed. Momentum building. Tobin feels like he's winning. Big main character energy. Meanwhile, the $18,000 credit card at 22% has been sitting there accruing interest this whole time. That card racks up about $9,912 in interest over 2 years. If Tobin had attacked the $18,000 card first while paying minimums on everything else, he would have paid about $6,100 in total interest across all debts in that same window. Instead, he paid about $14,300 by prioritizing small balances. He lost about $8,700 chasing the feeling of small victories. The bank appreciates his emotional journey deeply. Because motivation is not a strategy, and feelings do not reduce interest charges. Let's get specific, because the math is the whole point. That $18,000 card at 22% is accruing about $4,920 per year in interest. That's about $341 per month just in interest charges. While Tobin focused on paying off a 0% medical debt for 8 months, the 22% card stacked about $2,728 in new interest. He paid off a debt that wasn't charging interest, while the debt that was charging interest kept compounding. He felt good. The bank felt better. Now, the math-first way to do this is simple. Rank your debts by interest rate from highest to lowest. Pay minimums on everything except the highest interest debt. Throw every extra dollar at the highest rate until it is gone. Then move to the next highest rate. That's called the Avalanche method. It's mathematically optimal. It minimizes interest. It gets you out faster. It saves you the most money. For Tobin, Avalanche means the 22% card gets attacked first. On these numbers, that card would be gone in about 42 months. Interest paid on that debt, about $7,800. Then he rolls that payment into the 19% card. That one is gone in about 11 months. Interest, about $900. Then the 12% personal loan, gone in about 9 months. Interest, about $400. Then the 6% car loan, gone in about 27 months. Interest, about $1,700. The medical debt stays on minimums because it's 0%, then gets paid off at the end. Total time to debt freedom, about 89 months. Total interest across all debts, about $10,800. So now compare that to what Tobin did with the small wins method. Total interest with small wins ends up around $20,000. Time to debt freedom, about 96 months. So small wins cost him about $9,200 extra and added about 7 months to the timeline. He celebrated 3 account closures and paid $9,200 for the privilege of feeling good. The emotional argument for small wins is that people quit if they don't see progress fast. The theory is that attacking an $18,000 debt feels overwhelming, so you'll give up. But knocking out a $4,000 debt first gives you proof the plan works and keeps you engaged. Here's the problem with that logic. It assumes you're a child who needs gold stars to stay on task. You're an adult with $63,000 in debt. You're already motivated. You're already scared. You're already committed to getting out. You don't need a participation trophy for paying off the medical debt. You need to stop hemorrhaging money to interest charges. And if you genuinely need the constant emotional boost to stick to debt payoff, then you're not ready to pay off debt. You're ready to keep accumulating it. Because the psychology that requires constant positive reinforcement is the same psychology that creates debt in the first place. Debt happens when you prioritize how you feel now over what the math says you should do. Paying off debt by prioritizing how you feel over what the math says is just repeating the behavior that created the problem. You're not solving debt. You're managing your emotions while staying in debt longer and paying more for the privilege. And that extra $9,200, it's not just gone. The future value is gone too. If Tobin saved that $9,200 and invested it for 20 years at 8% annual returns, it becomes about $43,000. So he didn't just lose $9,200. He lost what that money could have become. He traded future retirement wealth for the feeling of closing small accounts. Motivation does not pay compound interest. Math does. Now, here's another sneaky consequence. Tobin becomes debt-free after 8 years and has 0 saved. Every extra dollar went to debt instead of building a cushion. If he used Avalanche and saved the $9,200 plus those extra 7 months of payments, he could be debt-free with about $11,000 in savings or investments. Instead, he's debt-free and broke. One car repair away from re-downloading the credit card app like it's a toxic ex. And the real damage is what this method teaches your brain. Small wins trains you to prioritize feelings over outcomes in financial decisions. It teaches you that what feels good is the right answer. That lesson will haunt every future money decision you make. Next time you're choosing between the cheaper option and the option that feels better, you'll pick the one that feels better because that's what your debt payoff method trained you to do. That's how you end up buying the car that makes you happy instead of the one that fits your budget. Taking the vacation you deserve instead of the vacation you can afford. financing purchases for immediate satisfaction instead of saving and paying cash. The snowball method isn't just costing you money now. It's programming emotional money decisions forever. People say small wins works for those who failed with Avalanche before. They say if math didn't work because you quit, maybe emotion will work because it keeps you engaged. I understand that logic, but it ignores something important. If you can't stick to a plan without constant emotional rewards, the problem is not the plan. The problem is impulse control and delayed gratification. And those don't disappear just because you switch methods. The person who quits Avalanche after 6 months is the same person who racks up new debt after finishing Snowball, because they're still making decisions based on feelings instead of math. You're not fixing the underlying issue, you're accommodating it. And designing plans around bad financial behavior just enables more bad financial behavior. The solution isn't a different payoff method. The solution is learning to tolerate discomfort and make decisions based on outcomes instead of feelings. That's hard. That's uncomfortable. That's also what works long term. So here's what Tobin should have done. Brutal, but simple. List every debt by interest rate. Attack the highest rate. Ignore how it feels. Ignore the lack of quick wins. Just keep paying the debt that costs the most until it's gone. Then move to the next one. If you need motivation, calculate your savings and use that as motivation. For example, every month Tobin puts $600 toward that 22% card instead of spreading it out. He saves about $110 in interest charges compared to the alternative. That is the win, not closing an account, saving $110. Over 42 months, that becomes about $4,600 saved. That's real. Account closures are fake wins that cost real money. So if you're doing small wins because it feels better, your options are painful but clear. Option 1. Switch to Avalanche immediately. Stop paying extra on low-rate debt and redirect everything to the highest rate. It'll take longer to close the first account, but you'll save thousands and get out faster overall. Yes, it requires admitting the method you used was costing you money. But staying on the wrong path because changing feels like failure is how you end up paying $20,000 in interest instead of $10,000. Option 2, keep doing small wins and accept you're paying a premium for emotional comfort. Some people pay extra to feel good about the process. If that's you, own it. Admit you're prioritizing feelings over math and that it's costing you $9,200 or whatever your number is. Just don't call it financially smart. It's financially comfortable. Those are not the same thing. Option 3. Stop trying to pay off debt while you still have the psychology that creates debt. If you truly can't stick to a plan without constant emotional rewards, you're not ready to be debt-free. You're ready to stay in the cycle. Get therapy, build guardrails, work on impulse control. Figure out why you need gold stars to make good decisions. Then, come back to debt payoff when you can handle delayed gratification. Tobin is debt-free now after 8 years of grinding. He paid about $20,000 in interest. He could have paid about $10,800. He lost about $9,200 because he chose the method that felt better over the method that cost less. The gurus made money selling the emotional method. The credit card companies made money on the extra interest. Tobin made nothing except the feeling of closing accounts. And that feeling is gone now, but the $9,200 is still gone. And it's not coming back. So you can keep paying off debt by chasing whichever account closure will feel best, celebrating small victories while high interest balances quietly compound in the background. Or you can recognize that feelings are expensive. that motivation is not a substitute for math, and that the method designed to make you feel successful can be the same method that keeps you paying interest as long as possible. Tobin felt good every time he closed an account. The bank felt better. Attack the highest interest rate first. Let your feelings complain in the passenger seat. They don't get the steering wheel. Save thousands, get out faster, or keep chasing emotional wins and pay the premium. The choice is yours, but the math is not. Interest does not care about your feelings. If this made you want to re-rank your debts by interest rate, hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, check out the ebooks and check out our many financial calculators and other resources, links below. Go grab them before Tobin tries to pay off his Starbucks balance first. I'll see you in the next one.